You're watching part of a live workshop I gave where I copy edited and gave feedback on real cold emails and sales prospecting emails submitted by the audience. The video session that we did was quite long. It was about an hour, so I decided to chop it up into smaller bite-sized pieces, which is this video you're watching. There are more parts before and after this video, so if you want to watch them, be sure to subscribe to the Salesfolk YouTube channel as well as the Salesfolk blog, where I will be posting them and sharing more information and cold email tips. Let's get started. So this is going to a SaaS CEO that has some customers, probably like Series A, maybe B, probably Series A-ish. And it says they have a self-serve free trial. Okay, so I would say, first question, why are you targeting the CEO? Like, I get you can go from the top down, but it's definitely a lot harder. Basically, like, it's worth a shot, but I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket with that since they are probably really busy. And the person said they're not getting any response and that they think their offer is not strong enough. Okay, so I mean, at least you're getting it forwarded. Although I would say the tracking on that with like the forwarding and the opening isn't always accurate. It can just be like in a honeypot regarding spam. So don't always rely on those analytics that you see in your email tracking, although they sometimes can be right. Let's see. But in that case, you should probably follow up with someone else in that company. Let me just read those. I also would say, like, there should be a lot, like, is this customer experience? I don't think every SaaS founder knows what CX necessarily is. I'm not even 100% sure. So, like, try to cut out the jargon wherever possible. CX and conversion. I think that's customer experience, but usually you say UX. So I just haven't really heard that term. I mean, that is pretty cool and like specific. You don't necessarily have to say that, although this sentence, although it kind of does soften the blow. This email reminds me of an old customer's email that had something like this where they were doing conversion rate optimization as a service. I think it was copywriting, but also maybe design. And they did do something like this, but the problem was it wasn't very scalable. It took a whole lot of time. And so that was one problem too. When they actually showed the examples before getting a response, they were actually decreasing their positive response rates. We found when the A/B tested. I would say consider saving this until they respond. Saves you more time / makes it more scalable. And let's see, it gives them a reason to respond. So, you know, one way I might rewrite something like this would be like, hi, so-and-so, I guess it's JP. You know, like, I don't think you need to say from your LinkedIn necessarily and like so show that you're stalking them. You could even just say something as simple as, I think it's really cool what company is doing with, and it could be, you know, vague, like and you can target it to an entire industry, to be like, what would it be? I'm just making this up. I'm going to put food delivery because I'm a little bit hungry. But and I would just say, however, I noticed a few bugs and user experience issues on your website that might be hurting onboarding. Something like that. And then you could say da 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 da. You could probably just say something like, you know, this sentence could probably stay, but it would be better. I'm just gonna put like a case study sentence. It would be better if that sentence was a little bit more like benefit driven, like, or at least specific. So find, prioritize, and fix are features. Conversion killing is a pain point, which is good. I'll just say good pain point, but flesh this out more with a nice customer case study sentence. Especially if you don't have your website up yet, which I believe this person doesn't have yet. It's important to really convey the value. And if you don't have a name that you can mention yet because of an NDA or whatever, you can at least describe them and just sort of describe like how you found a couple bugs or UX issues that like everyone had missed, and you were able to like increase the conversion rate by whatever in only 3 weeks, you know, whatever. And then you just have a simple call to action. This is not bad, but it could probably be a little shorter. I do this as a da-da-da. I'm not quite sure why it says title at company, if that's that company or a different one. Nathan, if you're on right now, feel free to chime in and answer what that is. But anyways, I would just say, you know, maybe even just like, would you be open to a 15-minute call to actually, I'm trying to think, I might say this differently. Can I think we go stronger with this. When do you have 15 minutes to hear what the bugs, or like to hear about the UX issues I found and see if I might be able to add value to da da da. We could play with that a bit more, but I just felt like it was so passive as far as like, doesn't make sense. Something like that could be okay if you hadn't already like put a bunch out there. But I feel like if you're offering something really specific, you could go a little bit stronger. You could also just like easily just like cut it out here. And basically like just leave it at this potentially. Obviously there'd be a question mark there. Yeah, does anybody have questions about any of these so far? And has this been helpful and interesting? I would love to hear.
Hey, Heather.
Hey.
It's Steph. It's been amazing, as always. I have a quick question for you in regards to the case study sentence. When you talk about having it be benefit driven, like if you have a research company that's giving you all these stats that they found, would you quote the research company? Not necessarily be like, go into the whole thing, but like, do you think that they would care that you actually went to the trouble of having a research company do all this polling?
Is the research company, are we talking like Forrester, or I mean, you could potentially, you could say like, we hired da 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 to survey 250 people and they found like, I guess, is the research like public or is it internal?
I think it, for us, I don't know that it was public. I think it's just internal, but I can confirm. So yeah, I feel like if it's like you said, if it's like a Garner or if it's like a very well-known research company, then I probably would say it. But if it's just kind of a nobody,
well,
that
yeah,
they would know,
exactly.
maybe you don't have to say.
If it's no one, I don't think you necessarily have to say who did the research, but I would say who was surveyed. So if it's like, you know, like 200 business owners or 200, you know, whatever their title, like the number, assuming it's like a good number that's not like 5, you know, I would say like describe who was surveyed, because I think that's almost like more interesting. But I think one of the things I see a lot, and I get this in terms of like PR pitches for Inc. and Forbes a lot, people will survey something, but it's like the findings are a number, but there's something obvious where it's like 70% of CIOs are 70% of CIOs think security is important. Like, yeah, no shit, you know, like some of the things that are sometimes said are just so like obvious or basic that one second, just write one thing. You don't need to say them. Like if it's something that kind of everyone knows, you're wasting the space with driving that. But if it's like an interesting or surprising thing, or like maybe it's like 4 out of 5 CIOs we surveyed, you know, said that their organization did not have good multi-factor authentication policies and they were really worried about it. That could be interesting, where you start it like that and you say, you know, is this a similar, like, are you experiencing any issues like this at company? And I made that up. But something like that, I think, could just be like a little bit more relevant and interesting, whereas sometimes the stats that are mentioned are just so obvious that like they're not worth mentioning. But did that help answer that?
Yeah, that was super helpful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. Any questions you have, please do leave them in the comments. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. It's actually part of a much longer workshop video that we did that was about 45 minutes long. So in order to not have it be overwhelming, I chopped it up. I will be sharing the other parts on this YouTube channel, so do be sure to subscribe, as well as to the Salesfolk blog and our email newsletter. Just go to salesfolk.com/blog, and you can also on the website sign up for our newsletter. Let me know any questions you have about cold email, sales prospecting, B2B sales, marketing, negotiation, persuasion in general, and I'll try my best to answer them in the comments as well as other upcoming videos. As always, happy cold emailing! Cheers!